right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Spot storms tomorrow? Maybe. Probably not. I'll explain why I think it's going to be dry.
More than 3 decades later, a Franklin County cold case finally closed. The suspect, who authorities say admitted he killed Carly Jane Delcourt. But first, addressing gun violence through the power of hoops. How police officers and coaches are raising awareness on the court.
We're all grieving. Despite how you're grieving or despite how it happened, we want to be in this together and we can get through it.
There's new information tonight on a child seriously injured in a shooting in North St. Louis County. Tonight, police say the 9-year-old boy is doing better. The shooting happened just before 3 this afternoon on Aspen Woods Drive in Spanish Lake. Police have not said what led up to that shooting. Good evening, I'm Brent Solomon. This weekend, people in our area are joining forces. They're joining those all across the country to take action against the gun violence. Now at 10, Mark Maxwell joins us now with more on that interactive event at Solden High School.
Brent, legendary basketball coach John Wooden used to say things turn out best for the people who make the best out of the way things turn out. And that lesson, how to respond to adversity, was on full display today at the second annual fundraiser Coaches vs. Crime. When times get tough on the hardwood, competitors often look to their coach.
On the half-court line.
But on this court,
This is unlike any basketball game you've ever been to.
every team and everyone in the stands was competing against the same vicious opponent.
In particular, gun violence.
Khalil Munir founded the Willie Davis Sports Foundation to provide an outlet for families grieving athletes who were shot and killed.
Honoring and remembering those who were tragically taken from us.
Before tip-off, the crowd honored the families of the fallen.
Those shirts that y'all playing in, y'all knew the guys that you're playing for.
The coaches knew them too.
No dispute is worth losing a life.
Anton Macklin coached young Isis Marr before she was shot and killed at 19. A figure in her life her dad will never forget.
Yes, Isis and I had a lot of tough conversations, but I watched her grow. And somebody so full of life, she was about to go win in life.
Now, her dad, Atif Marr, is raising money to help other young students finish her dream of becoming a nurse. No corner of this gym was spared from the grief of gun violence.
My son was actually coming and get my car to go and play basketball. This is his thing. This is what he loved to do. He was a scholar athlete, and I witnessed him being murdered for no reason.
Leslie Bird celebrated what would have been her son's 21st birthday and did everything she could to put a smile on the faces of people in her corner.
People say I might be grieving the wrong way, but is there any particular way to grieve? It's what I have to do because I know I'm inspiring other people. I'm working with the youth who is looking into my energy, so why not? If anything, let's be on one accord. Let's comfort one another. Let's have compassion more with one another and lead in love instead of getting it back in blood.
And one by one, together, the love starts to overpower the pain.
You walk in saddened because you know you're here only due to the loss of a child. When you leave out, you're refreshed because you enjoy, for me, seeing the sport. My daughter liked to play basketball, so I kind of live through these kids vicariously just watching.
The Coaches vs. Crime organizers gave out practical tips like 600 gun locks, responsible coping mechanisms to avoid conflict, and access to counseling facing grief. But nothing was more powerful than their collective resolve to take that tragedy and turn the pain into the kind of purpose that can power lasting change.
Mark Maxwell, thank you. All weekend long, people are wearing orange to honor those lost by gun violence. The color symbolizes the value of each person's life. Today, members of Moms Demand Action gathered at the Pilgrim Congregational Church in North St. Louis. People shared their stories of being impacted, and attendees discussed changes that they want to see.
This cannot be the norm. I'm not going through this again. So I'm going to fight to do whatever I can to stop this. It hurts because it's almost like we're reacting instead of proacting before this happens.
The group is working on solutions right now, including monthly meetings to focus on healing. They're also pushing to change gun laws and get more mental health classes into high schools. Tonight, police are looking for the man who shot a woman on I-70 Friday. The victim said she was driving east near Madison Street when a white Nissan Altima began to follow her. She says she tried to get away, but the suspect pulled up next to her and fired a shot at the car, hitting her in the leg. The victim drove to a nearby gas station to call for help. She was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Tonight, a 35-year-old cold case in Franklin County is now closed. Kirby King of Gary Summit pled guilty to manslaughter in the 1987 murder of Carla Jane Delcourt. He was arrested and charged back in 2019. Well, in June of 1987, investigators found Delcourt's body in a wooded area about 2 miles west of St. Clair. A medical examiner determined she was strangled. Her case remained unsolved until investigators reopened it 5 years ago. King will be sentenced next month. Let's go ahead and shift gears now with a live look from Worldwide Technology Raceway. The Enjoy Illinois 300 NASCAR Cup Series is happening all weekend. Right now on KSDK.com, you can find everything you need to know about tomorrow's big race. Meteorologist Tracy Henson now with your weather first forecast. Boy, what a hot one for that event, Tracy.
Has been warm, but you know what? I bet you will take this heat over storms any day. They certainly don't have to sweat it with that. Just the heat. 94 degrees today, which didn't come quite to that record. That record mark was at 96, so we didn't quite make that. And it's been a while since we've hit 96 on June 3rd. The last time was 1895. Yeah, 1895. 65 degrees was our low temperature, which is pretty close to average for us. The record low, though, was 43. Wouldn't that be nice? Some of us would like that. All right, it is a beautiful night out there, though. These summer nights are certainly, especially dry ones, not very humid, certainly something we can enjoy. It's 82 degrees. It feels like 81. The winds are nice and calm. Humidity always rises overnight. It's currently at 38%. For tonight, mostly clear, 70 degrees for us. Nice light winds. Coming up, I'll outline our very slim storm chances for Sunday.
All right, thank you, Tracy. Today, Shriners Children's Hospital received generous support from the community. The Pediatric Specialty Care Hospital hosted its 3rd annual Shriners Stroll into Summer. Patients, their families, and the medical team walked together on the Washington University campus. All of the excitement culminating with a family-friendly carnival. The event raised nearly $75,000 for Shriners. Also in the Central West End today, an event promoting health and community. St. Louis Mom Collective partnered with the Siteman Cancer Center to provide mammograms. Siteman brought out a mobile mammography van, allowing women to have access to health care on the spot. The van performs nearly 4,000 mammograms a year. Send in the clowns, a parade in downtown St. Louis. We're there for opening night of Circus Flora. Celebrate your loved ones this June. We're tracking the hot deals on gifts for Father's Day and for recent graduates. Tonight, rescuers in India have ended the search for survivors after 2 trains crashed and derailed. The Southeastern Railway Company confirming at least 288 people are dead, hundreds more are hurt. You can see here the destruction and piles of debris from the trains. The cause of that crash is still under investigation. Well, President Biden signed the bipartisan debt ceiling bill into law. The legislation includes handling billions in unspent COVID relief funds. It also eliminates more than $1 billion in IRS funding. Under the law, federal student loan payments began again, and there are also work requirements for people up to age 55 to get certain government benefits. Can Congress keep the bipartisan momentum going to address other big issues? Our political editor Mark Maxwell asked NBC's Chuck Todd what this deal means for the political dynamics going into an election year.
Politically, it's helpful to both McCarthy and Biden. But I also think this is probably the end of bipartisanship for the rest of the campaign season. I think out of necessity, Republicans, I think McCarthy got space to do this. I don't think he would get space to do another deal with Joe Biden.
And you can watch their full conversation right now on KSDK.com. Be sure to tune in to Meet the Press tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock right here on 5 on Your Side.
And 94 degrees with a slim chance for a few storms tomorrow. I'm going over just how slim those chances are.
Well, June is here, and whether it's a gift for dad or a recent grad, Consumer Reports found money-saving deals on top-tested products to help you kickstart your summer. Here's Mike Bush.
It's Father's Day and graduation season, and June is a great month to save big on items that'll help you celebrate the ones you love. Consumer Reports tracks the prices of many of its top-tested products all year long, so it knows exactly when they go on deep discount. Here are top products to look out for in this month's Best Time to Buy.
In the beginning of June, you might see ongoing Memorial Day sales on things like dishwashers, blenders, and mattresses. And with Father's Day coming up on June 18th, start to look for discounts on things like tech items and power tools.
If Dad is a DIYer, get him something he can use for jobs big and small. This drill from DeWalt is as low as $105.70 at Amazon. CR says this cordless drill is very powerful and capable of driving even the largest screws. And for new dads who still want to work out, what about a jogging stroller? The Thule Urban Glide 2 is as low as $549.95 at Nordstrom and Pottery Barn Kids. CR says this jogging stroller is easily maneuverable and features a handbrake for better control when jogging. Need a gift for a recent graduate who likes to geek out on tech? Why not get them a new smartwatch? This Apple Watch SE is as low as $149 at Walmart. CR says this first-generation Apple Watch did great in its tests, and that if you're okay with foregoing the latest and greatest features on newer models, you can enjoy these big savings. And finally, an item that will satisfy all inside the kitchen. The Vitamix One is as low as $149.95 at Wayfair. CR says this blender aced its test in making smoothies and frozen desserts, something cool to jump into summer.
And if you're looking for something else on sale this month, CR says insect repellents, pressure washers, smart speakers, and a whole lot more typically go on deep discount in June. Preparing the next generation of football players. Today, more than 500 kids joined NFL Hall of Fame wide receiver Isaac Bruce. This was for a free football clinic at the former Rams Park. The clinic gives kids the opportunity to work on their sportsmanship and teamwork.
Making it is just becoming a professional. I think we teach life skills here at this camp that will benefit any industry that they choose to go in.
Now, each participant also received a signed T-shirt and, of course, the opportunity to meet Bruce himself. Well, today, thousands of people were out in Webster Groves to enjoy all things art. The Webster Arts Fair featured 92 artists and craftspeople from all across the country. Attendees got to buy unique paintings, ceramics, jewelry, sculptures, and a whole lot more, while enjoying food from local vendors and, of course, live entertainment. The fair wrapped up about an hour ago, but it returns tomorrow from 11 until 4. Almost sounds like New Orleans with that music vibe there. The circus is back in town. Earlier today, Circus Flora kicked off its opening night with a parade down Washington Avenue. The parade featured music from the Red and Black Brass Band, jugglers, a clown, and so much more. Circus Flora is the only nonprofit circus in the city. It runs through June 25th. We've got meteorologist Tracy Henson standing by. Tracy, you were actually out at that event today, I believe, weren't you?
Yeah, I spent about 45 minutes of my dinner break out there, and it was just wonderful. Circus Flora is just so special. It's one of only, haven't checked since after COVID, but in 2019, it was one of only 3 local, started in the city, stays in the city circuses. So it's really quite special.
Yeah, I enjoyed the music.
Yeah, and it's a little mix of local acts. You can see some of the kids from Circus Harmony that's over at the City Museum, and then you can also see some international nationally famous acts like the Wallendas. So
how
it's pretty
about that? Yeah.
All right, let's get to our weather. Okay, so what we're going to see for our air quality index is unhealthy for sensitive groups. Once again, we're going to extend this warning that we've had for multiple days now right into tomorrow. Pretty much if it's warm and it's sunny and we don't have rainfall, you can just bet that that air quality index will be high. Unhealthy for sensitive groups, that's that orange category. If you're just not feeling your best tomorrow, it's possible you spent too much time outdoors and that sort of poor air quality is affecting you. Lights are down at the raceway, but they're getting ready for another big day out there tomorrow, and it will be a little bit cooler. Not a lot, but a little bit. 75 degrees in St. Charles, upper 60s for Chesterfield, and 72 for Scott Air Force Base, 76 in Farmington. Over the next 12 hours here, temperatures will only drop down to around 70 degrees by 4 in the morning, and then we're going to be up into the low 80s and then 87 degrees by 11 a.m. A good mix of sun and clouds out there. All right, for tomorrow in Madison, Illinois, temperatures will be in the low 90s for the race, but we will have a little bit more in the way of cloud cover. And that's a good thing, as it'll kind of take the edge off that direct sunlight that we had today. A few spot storms will roll through. As you can see, we start off overcast for our Sunday. We bring in a couple of spotty storms. I don't expect these to be over in Illinois too much, but I do expect as they continue to move down, Rolla, for example, some spots in Herman, Gasconade, Franklin counties there could get hit with a little bit of light rainfall. Now, if you do get hit by that light rain, buy a lottery ticket because you're clearly lucky, because most places won't get any rainfall at all, and we could certainly use it. We're about 4.5 inches behind for rainfall so far. Your 10-day forecast is going to show you 93 degrees for our Monday, 88 on Tuesday, 83 for Wednesday, and then we're in the 90s, another big stretch of 90s here with a chance for a little precipitation, but nothing organized and nothing that's going to help us with that rain deficit. Though, of course, we don't want too much rain all at once because that can cause other issues. We will be in the low 60s for the next few nights.
Tracy, thanks for that update. We've got Corey standing by. You're hard at work with so much going on in sports.
Listen, Saturday nights are special at City Park. Every week, City SC makes sure the show is worth the price of admission. Tonight was no different. If you want to see those highlights and highlights from state championships on the pitch, up next in sports.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
It is not supposed to look this easy. Remember back at the start of the MLS season, City SC are the new kids. They're supposed to be the worst team in the league. Instead, they've looked like the best team in the league every Saturday night, and tonight was no different. Houston came to town to face the City Park faithful. First up, who else? Edouard Leuven, penalty kick, no problem. He nails it, 1-0 City. Then it's Leuven again, big kick into the box, bounces around. Eventually, Tomas Ostrak buries it, 2-0 City. This game was chippy throughout, and City just kept their foot on the pedal. 83rd minute, Nico Gioacchini gets a turn on the PK after Leuven tabbed him to take it. He scores as well. It was a well-rounded performance by all, including Roman Berkey in net. City gets a clean sheet against Houston, 3-0. That's a 3-win homestand and a trip back to the top of the Western Conference.
We just stick to our guns, our principles, and make sure that we're on the front foot and trying to create a bit of havoc and a bit of chaos. But it needs to be controlled. And I think we're getting better at controlling certain moments. Is it perfect? No. We know that we've done great things, but we have to continue to be hungry and keep on this mentality.
Cardinals in Pittsburgh trying to forget about last night's debacle. Jordan Montgomery had the start. He was okay for a while. Cards need more of this. That's an opposite field blast from Wilson Contreras, 1-0. There was a rain delay, and the Pirates got to Monty when they came back into action. Connor Joe gets the lead right there with that double. Cards tried to rally. Nolan Gorman absolutely crushes another baseball, his 14th homer of the year. But it's not enough. Pirates win 4-3, and the Cardinals are back in the NL Central cellar. Things kicked off on the track at Worldwide Technology Raceway today. Kyle Busch has a crew chief from Fenton, and he also has pole position for tomorrow's Enjoy Illinois 300. The trucks ran today. Grant Enfinger took the checkered, and tomorrow the drivers are expecting some intense and exciting racing.
It's going to be interesting. I feel like restarts are going to be super difficult to stay clean through. The stack-ups are going to be massive with as narrow as it is, and this group likes to use each other up, so I think there's going to be a lot of that. If you're sitting on the couch watching or sitting in the grandstands watching, you're going to have a good time.
Game 1 of the Stanley Cup final tonight, Florida and Vegas. Not a bad series for a reporter to travel for. I'm going to tell you that right now. Vegas gets a tiebreaker from Zach Whitecloud. Ivan Barbashev had the assist. They take off. Vegas wins 5-2 to take Game 1. 5 on Your Sideline will make its return in August as the school year gets going once again. But now it's time for a finale. The last few games of the current school year, all for state titles. Class 6 baseball state championship. Rough night for Francis Howell against Liberty North, but they fought till the end. Brady Wilson makes it a 9-3 game in the 7th there, but that's as close as the Vikings would get. Liberty North closes it out for the 9-3 championship win. Great season for the second place Francis Howell Vikings. Tony Perkins' squad can certainly hang their heads high. Girls soccer, Class 3 state title, Zumwalt South and Smithville. It was already 2-1 Zumwalt when we got there, and they just survived that late one off the post. As the clock winds down, it sinks in. Zumwalt South wins 2-1. It's their 3rd straight state title. Congrats to the Bulldogs. Clayton and St. Pius in the Class 2 finale. Stella Whitney gets on the board here. Zips that one past the keeper. Nice goal for Clayton. This game went to overtime, and in overtime, Anna McAndrew rides to the rescue. Little chip shot, and it goes in. Clayton wins a thriller. Greyhounds are the state champs at Class 3 with a 3-2 win. On the Illinois side, congrats to O'Fallon. Girls soccer won it all 2 years ago, and they won another 3A state title tonight. Marquette University-bound star Kylie McMinn scored in overtime to beat Barrington 1-0. The Panthers have had a tremendous athletic season in just about every program this school year. We also got Festus, Jabot. They won baseball state championships. A lot of trophies being handed out tonight.
Oh, yeah. You've got it all covered, too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right. That's all of our time for 5 on Your Side at 10. But we have Saturday Night Live coming up next. Join us for Today in St. Louis tomorrow, starting at 6 in the morning. We hope you have a great rest of your weekend.